It's YuGiOh time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the YuGiOh Monster Figure Collection Tour Guide from the Underworld. This is one of the most iconic cards and one of the big fan favorites of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card King. Released about 2011, 2012, if I remember correctly. It was an absolute staple for the longest time, and even today they'll still see some fringe play. I mean, I remember Unchained using it. But still, design-wise, you can tell why people love this figure because she looks so hella cute and got a little bit of that fiend vibe going on, got the little Sangan figure rivet. Man, let's have a look at the figure. Size of the tour guide, she stands about 24 and a half, 25 centimeters to the top of the head, which means we are going up to, well, almost pretty much 10 inches tall. Size comparisons.
Here's Jolter, Guest Stage Figure Arts Son Goku, Red Eyes Black Dragon, Stardust Dragon, and Revolting Yusei, and Darkseid.
Overall look in detail, this is aesthetically pleasing. I mean, from the design, there's zero complaints. She looks really cute, somewhat flat on the top of the body, but then they really made sure to make her dummy thick in the back. And as far as the paint and the detail go, well, let's give you a look at one of the most adorable faces you will ever see. Look at the fangs. Oh my god, this is one of the highlights of the figure. But then we also have the entirety of the face. You have the red eyes, which are a little bit more glossy than the rest of it. I don't know how I feel about it, but paint-wise, there's nothing to complain. You got the tips on the hair, which has some metallic in there, makes it look very shiny. And then let me take off the head real quick because my camera doesn't move up any further. This is something that just looks beautiful. First and foremost, we have the metallic skull, which looks a little bit dirty, somewhat realistic. Has some flames coming out with just see-through plastic, or like, it's only see-through at the tips from what it seems, but regardless, it looks very cool. And then we have the entire red line work with the spikes on it, kind of like thorns, which also has a lot more of a metallic, glossy look to it. And you probably notice there's a lot of shading in the head as well. And if you're wondering about the head, it's connected via a magnet. Damn, she has a giant ass forehead, by the way. So I was really happy about that because taking it out of the packaging, I was like, oh no, there's no hard connection. The magnet actually works very fine. I haven't had any trouble with it so far. Now, for the rest of the design, we have another skull with somewhat bat wings on the chest area. Very nicely, cleanly painted, also in her white shirt under there. As we go down to the entire blue getup, has lots of wrinkles in there. I mean, the mold of it really doesn't skip a beat. And also the different kind of paint applications that we have. It has a lot more matte tones for the blue. Then we have a little bit of metallic, glossy metallic. You can see as I move it through the camera, just moving it around to show how the red really pops. Also the skull symbol. Then we have, once again, a little bit more glossy in the glove department. And she does have her whistle on the side. As we move down, have a little bit more metallic in the silver. And yeah, speaking about the dummy thickness, it's Pantsu time. I can't really see it. Let me use the phone. Okay, can't really get a good look in there. Damn it! I swear there's Pantsu in there, and I actually put in some detail. Like, they did the extra work, made it nice and glossy. It's hard to tell, but yeah, it is in there, and I highly appreciate the fact that they did not forget about the Pantsu, and they actually made a nice one, you know, not just fill this up with nothing. So very, very important to detail on this channel. And even though people will be like, oh, you're a pervert, it's a figure, get a life. Anyway, so we do have some nice legs wrapped up in some nylon. Obviously it's not real nylon, but the paint job really brings the impression of it, at least, with all the beautiful shading and more printed on detail, which is once again fairly glossy. Not too bad. As we move down to the red shoes, which are glossy. So also there's the base. which has the tour guide from the underworld, and it has like a metal connection. So she does stand in there very nicely. And since the pack is on the base and not on the figure, you could technically put her up without the base, because it does take up somewhat a little bit of space. You know, it's a little bit bigger than it needs to be. But still, overall, I mean, this is a phenomenal looking piece, and I love it. But that's not all. We do have some accessories. First and foremost, the back. Yes, I didn't have that on the figure because I thought it would get in the way. It's a lot more of a glossy affair. Has the skulls on there, which look fantastic. Also, the more I look at all the detail on this figure, there's not a single piece which is, what is going on over here? Yeah, I guess a little bit left over for taking out the packaging. But yeah, there's not a single issue with the paint. There's nothing, like even small, like the skull hands over here. Do you see anything going over the line? Do you see anything like bleeding into it? I don't see, well, maybe tiny bit if I go in very closely, but yeah, the paint job is beautiful. And this handbag is just more of the same. Beautiful paint, design, mold, and also we do have a sun gun. I love this little guy, and if you're wondering about this one, they were like, we're not just gonna do the regular old school tour guide, we're also gonna do like the alternative artwork, which I don't really like that much, but still, it does have the little Sangan on there, and I love Sangan. He's one of my boys. Has some more shading. We also have some metallic in the eyes, and for such a small accessory that they didn't even have to do, they really put in there all the teeth, the mouth. Well, the mouth is just, what is that, the tongue? I don't know. I feel like there should be like a hole in the mouth, but maybe that's how the Sangan works. I don't know much about Sangan anatomy, but still, does have shading, is painted down to the tiny claws, and looks freaking fantastic. And speaking of that alternative tour guide, it did come with a flag, and we put that on the alternative hand. And once again, the flag has a symbol on there, has some writing on there, and some more shading. And yeah, they really thought of everything. Final thoughts! I love this figure. I love everything about this figure. I love the idea that we are getting some more niche characters of the Yu-Gi-Oh universe. I mean, they've been doing some charmers and whatnot. That's not really what I'm into, but you know, not just the anime stuff. I want to get some cool card designs and get them into high quality figures like this one. Now, this is a bit more of the expensive side. I get that one, but again, this figure doesn't miss at all anything. Like, everything on here is top notch, really well done, beautifully looking. The only nitpick I can give, and this is complete preference, I think she's a little bit too tall. You know, you put her up to all these like dragon characters, maybe that you have dragon statues, and she kind of has the same size. So I would have been fine with a figure being like, I don't know, 15, 18, maximum 20 centimeters. To not tower over the rest of your collection. But still, this is just a personal nitpick. The figure still, as it is, looks freaking amazing. And for everybody who's a fan of tour guide, everybody who's a fan of the design, I can 100% recommend it. It is not sold out, I think, at this point on Miami. There's still some places where you can find her, and maybe it's the high price point that people don't want to buy it. I can understand it, and you know, in that regard, maybe you want to wait, maybe it's going to drop in price somewhere, but still, the figure is beautiful, and I freaking love it. That's going to do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like, and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure views, VTuber stuff, and whatever tour guide from the underworld wants.